Hello sales scientist, it's David Premer here from Cerebral Selling, and what I wanted to talk about today was a concept that I've been talking about for years. I wrote an article about it a long time ago, and what it's really about is preparing your customer to get your deal done within their own organization. So this is the road to close, the mutual planning. And what I call it is the puppy conversation. And so what do I mean by the puppy conversation? Well, when you were a kid, if you ever wanted a puppy and you came to your parents and you said, Mom, Dad, I want a puppy, what was the next thing that your parents asked you? Typically, they would kind of look at each other, pause, and say, oh, okay, hold on a second. Do you even know what it means to take care of a puppy? Who's going to walk it? Who's going to feed it? All these questions. And the reality is, if you didn't have good answers to those questions, guess what, my friend? You ain't getting a puppy. And so those kinds of interactions happen in our customer organizations all the time. If we're lucky enough to have a champion on the customer side who is ushering us through the process, as they escalate your case to other levels of the organization, chances are they're going to get all sorts of questions about your solution, your deployment approach, your cost, any kind of risk, the history of your organization. And guess what? If they don't have good answers to those questions, especially from senior leaders, then the chances of your solution getting through in a very frictionless and harmonious way are going to be compromised. And so my advice to sellers is help your champions, help your coaches prepare for that puppy conversation. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you're getting to that part of the sales cycle and you know that there's going to be potentially these questions coming up, you might say to your champion, so tell me about, have you ever purchased a solution like ours before? What does the approval process look like? What questions do you think we're going to get? Because I want to make sure that you're prepared to answer them, and I want to make sure I'm providing as much information and context as I can to make sure that we can get this done together. Now, don't take for granted that your champions always know exactly what needs to get done in their own organization to get these deals done. So by a little bit of coaching, a little bit of empathy to help work through that process, you're going to ensure that your deal closes when you're forecasting it with as minimal friction, as minimal turbulence as possible. So the next time you're trying to figure out how do I kind of bring that deal to fruition, think about how you are preparing your customer side champions and coaches for that puppy conversation. See you next time.